Welcome to Changing from Within. Again, I am nobody, but to somebody, I'm somebody. Um, this video right here, I'm just going to really talk about and encourage, you know, the people that survived and gotten out of narcissistic situations, relationships, family dynamics, but actually survived that, man. And I think a lot of people don't really talk about how much healing that goes into that. Like some people get out of it, but some people still continually to stay broken, continually to stay without even realizing it, but still like living in the trauma because it does create trauma. It does hit on such a level of pain that some people ever just don't really truly come back from. Even though that they're living life, but they're not truly living life. And I just want to speak on, since I am a survivor of all that. I'm actually on the upside of it. I'm healed from it. I totally understand it, and I've actually had to truly start from tackling it on a spiritual level, and understanding how a lot of these things actually do start like spiritual, and what's tied to the person that we are in bondage with, that we end up dealing with, that end up causing us a lot of turmoil in our life and trauma that we just never really truly overcome. And I feel like the process is to start in a way of letting go. Letting go and accepting the pain for what it is, accepting the person, accepting the situation that for that is just, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't serve you. And as hard as it is to let go of something that you do intend to love or being loved or painful to do, it ultimately ends up being the best thing, because the longer that you always stick around, the more pain and hurt that it creates. And you'll never fully become your true self. You'll never fully become to live in abundance of life. And but the process is just starting to accept it. Accept that person for what it is, accept that situation for what it is. And then also, once you start to accept it, you need to like start looking at yourself of why were you tolerating some of these behaviors? Why were you tolerating some of these things? Like, what were you attached to? And a lot of times, the things that we attach to, or the things that we think that we need to make us feel whole, is not the things that we need to make us feel whole. The things that we need to make us feel whole is what we need to apply to ourselves. What do we need to add to ourselves that we think that we can get in somebody else? But it's like finding that lack, that whatever that we're lacking and looking for. And then ultimately, once you really start to see that, that's when you start to try to like, okay, accept that, and then try to work on that, and then pouring that into yourself or healing from that. And also the process of healing, a lot of these times, what we're healing from is something that happened way before we ever met that person, or whatever the situation. Or sometimes, like in my situation, I was born into some of this stuff without even knowing that I was even born into it, like thinking that certain things were just normal behavior, that it was acceptable, but not understanding that it was always creating trauma. That normalcy wasn't actually normal. It wasn't the correct way. It wasn't the way that God intended it to be, or for me to move on and put into my own relationships as I started to grow and make my own things. That dynamic just never worked out, and then I never really understood where it always went back to. And it actually started going back to my family, my childhood. And I had to like really start connecting the dots and going deeper and deeper to really truly find the root of all that pain. And but I feel like, for anybody who's out for having to go through that in their life, or any situation, and friendships, and whatever the case may be, because this isn't just relationships and family ships, it's like friendships, and even with kid dynamics. Sometimes we don't even see what we're passing on to our kids. And the ones that don't have kids, what you can be passing on to without even knowing that you're passing it on to. But it's never too late to start and to identify where you are at, when it comes to that. But it's like that healing journey is really tough. But it's like anything else, it's tough to pull away from. It's tough to let go of certain things that we were always operating of, that we thought that was normal or the correct way. And once you do that, it's like really starting to come to that accepting thing. And then, but once you start to, but also when you accept, you start to surrender. And starting surrender is like really when you start letting go of certain things and just trying to let God, the universe, your higher power, truly start to navigate and you in certain areas, because it's hard for him to better ourselves if we're not willing to listen to the direction that he's trying to give us. And I think that's very important as we become to heal or become a better person for ourselves. It's like we have to understand like there's certain things that we have to let go of, certain things that you're gonna have to accept. But then knowing that like let your higher power, God, your the universe, start implicating steps for you to take, and then having faith in as you take those steps, and it's like as you do that, you start to truly become and see like okay, this is the right way, and you kind of get stronger at nudging into that. And then it's like certain things that you don't want to let go of, and you might not do it the first time or the second time, because as you know, people in this world, we are hard-headed, but when you start to like let go of certain things, that you'll get more comfortable at letting go. And actually, it is really freeing yourself and healing yourself. I feel like, this world, we complicate so many things in this life of how things should be. And it's really actually not as complicated as it really is. We're just always tied to and in bondage of certain things. And I know when it comes with narcissists also operate with a lot of lust, a lot of manipulation. But it's going to be hard to be manipulated and letting somebody's same tactics, same things get to you when you start to become your true self and really start getting closer to the truth. Because when you seek the truth, God will reveal the truth. It's just also to you to be able to now be directed in what to do with that truth from then. And it's like it becomes a process. I feel like also making the decision to separate, you're gonna have to understand that the process of healing and going deeper and deeper on whatever part you're trying to heal, however deep it is and deep rooted it is, but also how much effort are you willing to put into this healing journey, and how patient are you willing to be, not just with other people, but be with yourself. Because I feel like a lot of the times too, like all of this still goes back and ties back into yourself. So you actually want to start to be patient with yourself as you continue to grow and undo old behaviors, old habits, and as you start to reveal, the truth starts to reveal to you. And certain things are going to hurt as you start to revealing more truth of other things. It actually still is going to hurt. You're going to be like, ain't no way. But it's like, damn, okay, now God, okay, what am I supposed to do from here now? And I feel like always taking it to him and being able to process things, and then actually still take the courage to move in the right direction. You'll never go wrong. And to really becoming, more wiser, more smarter, having closer to discernment, but actually truly becoming you, coming whole, and not actually repeating the same cycle over and over again, like I've been doing for a long time, but when enough is enough and you really want, and you really like tied into that, you start to do certain things differently, and certain things will start coming to you and start being revealed to you, and it's just now to have that faith and that trust to follow. So I just encourage everybody on their healing journey, anybody in the situation, that you can overcome it, you can get through it. It's just God's timing, and just trust in him. And at the ultimate, really just have some trust and some faith in that, and hopefully just continue to ask for direction. Don't always try to move according to you thinking you know everything. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, because they think they know what's best for them. They think they're going to know this outcome. But truly, God, the universe, your higher power truly knows what's best for you, and can save you from a lot of heartache, massive headaches, and just a lot of setbacks if you truly just start to rely on him and let them guide your steps. But I hope this helped a little bit of people understand on your growth and healing journey as well. Stay blessed, God willing.